Just imagine how stable my blood sugar is going to be. Hi, I'm Rachelle Robinett, an herbalist and holistic health coach, your host of Plant-Based, and today I'm going to tell you about one of my absolute favorite spices, cinnamon. Cinnamon is something that I've had in my cabinet way before I knew that it was good for me, way before I had money for spices. It was the one essential, just love of my life. A little bit of history about cinnamon. The Egyptians used it as a perfuming agent, and the Romans would use it for respiration, so lung health, digestion, and to cover up the smell of dead bodies. In terms of types of cinnamon, there can actually be a fair amount of confusion about this, and there are different types of cinnamon. Cinnamomum verum, otherwise known as true cinnamon or Ceylon cinnamon, is an evergreen tree, and the inside of that evergreen tree, the inner bark, is the cinnamon. Today, most cinnamon is either Ceylon or Cassia. We actually have the Cinnamomum verum, some of the best. This comes from Zanzibar in Tanzania. So cinnamon has been used for centuries as a warming spice, a circulation booster, something to improve digestion, something that we now realize is extremely beneficial for blood sugar balance. So a couple of teaspoons of cinnamon can reduce blood sugar by 20 to 30%. So very effective at stabilizing that. Cinnamon is high in chromium, which is helping to balance our blood sugar, and it's also supporting the pancreatic production of insulin, which also balances blood sugar. When we have balanced blood sugar, we have more stable energy, we have more stable weight, we can have less cravings, we can have more mental clarity. The list just goes on and on and on. So stable blood sugar is the name of the game in actually a lot of diets and with a lot of supplements, and just a couple of teaspoons of cinnamon can be extremely effective. In Ayurveda, cinnamon is used to stimulate digestion, but also to improve the bioavailability of other nutrients. So that means how well we can absorb the goodness from other things that we're eating. It's also used to sort of pacify the stomach or the digestion. In terms of how to use cinnamon, so you can use the sticks, brewed as a tea. You can also cook with cinnamon. Of course, when cooking with cinnamon, think about using enough. So I always err on the side of a lot of cinnamon, and that tends to push those recipes into territory that's really exciting. It's spicy, it's warming, it's aromatic, it's a little pungent. Cinnamon has an astringency to it, which is a little bit of a puckering action. And this can all just create really fascinating sort of textures and flavors in beverages and foods. And the other thing to remember is that cinnamon works in sweet dishes or in savory dishes. So I put cinnamon in my smoothie every day, but I also love it on sweet potato fries, for example. If you cook meat, it's amazing in rubs or marinades or things that are going to be salty or spicy. So not only does it work in the dessert, but think about integrating it into some of the savory recipes too, and you can be pleasantly surprised. So today we are making a cinnamon apple almond butter, and we're going way heavy on the cinnamon. 2 cups of raw almonds, ideally sprouted, 1/2 cup cashews, 3 tablespoons cinnamon, 1/4 cup dried apples, 1/2 teaspoon maple syrup, 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of coconut oil. You can use more or less as needed for consistency, 3/4 teaspoon vanilla, 1/4 teaspoon sea salt. Add everything into a blender or food processor and blend or process until it's finely mixed. You can add more coconut oil if you need to soften the mixture at all. Serve this over sweet potatoes, yams, on toast, use it in smoothies, Or of course, you can eat it straight out of the jar. All right, so here we have our apple cinnamon almond butter. It is your nut butter upgraded. So much more delicious and nutritious. And the taste test. Definitely, you get this sort of explosion or flowering of the cinnamon. And it's a little bit of spice, it's a little bit of sweet, and so much more interesting. And it would be delicious and sweet or savory. I would add a little sea salt on there, maybe a drizzle of maple syrup. It's fabulous. For more episodes of Plant-Based, subscribe to Well+Good's YouTube channel.